going on, Jerome's? Beautiful Tuesday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So we did a full video talking about Kirko reportedly moving his family to Hotlanta from PFT. Now, I don't know, man. I feel like this is peak BS season, and I know that Florio has very credible sources. Just ask him. But I don't know. This one seems like a bit of a strategery feint by Kirk Cousins and his agent. But I don't know. But if it is true, and Kirk does leave, because he spent the entire last year and a half basically saying like, I'm all about the team now, and maybe we'll take a hometown discount and win a Super Bowl here. I don't know why Kirk talks like an old man from the 20s doing the Charleston. Don't care. But if Kirk does leave, well, first off, I'm so shocked that a guy where it's always been about the money, it's still about the money. Whatever. Take your 30 pieces of silver, go to Atlanta, and I will officially boycott Pizza Ranch, even though I obviously like me some pizza. But the weird thing about Pizza Ranch is that the best thing that they have is their chicken. The broasted chicken. It's fantastic. I never quite understood the difference between fried chicken and broasted chicken. I know it probably has something to do with the preparation. I think broasted is pressure cooked. Don't quote me on that. Really doesn't matter. Something that matters is Alexander Mattison. His release was official today. Well, actually yesterday. But the Vikings do part ways with Mattison, where, wanted to work out, it just didn't. He's an absolutely awesome dude. He's very good off the field in the community as well. And did Mattison live up to his billing and his contract this year, trying to replace Dalvin Cook and be RB1? No. Did he deserve the hate and flack that he got online? No, absolutely not. But Mattison, it's been real, it's been fun, all that stuff. He's very, very classy on his way out too. So I'm rooting for him wherever he ends up. Hopefully not the Packers. Actually, I think I saw something that Mattison and the Packers were like this. I don't know. Maybe we'll take A.J. Dillon. And then Dillon and Ty Chandler will be a little smash and dash. Although Trey Benson is pretty good. Estime from Notre Dame, pretty good. Isaiah Davis, pretty good. But yeah, just didn't work out. Something that did work out is Jason Kelce. So Kelce came in as a day 3 pick, undersized center from Cincinnati, and he turned himself to maybe the best center in NFL history. Dude was fantastic for a number of years. And Kelce, I feel like he sold us the bill of goods, where it's like, hey, this undersized but uber athletic center, that's what Garrett Bradbury can be. Come on, mama. But I mean, Kelce, even as he got older, his movement skills were elite. Him getting out there. Plus, people give all the credit in the world to Jalen Hurts, why the tush push works. I mean, Jason Kelce, man. Where he's got that old man strength. He plays with great leverage, always has, and he retired on Monday officially. Got misty-eyed, got teared up, but yeah, great. I want Jason Kelce to have a new show where he just goes around and tailgates with different fan bases, like pro, college, everything. Because him and Bills Mafia in the playoff game, that was fantastic. That was really good. Also, by far the most likable Kelce. He really is. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be in the media. Hilarious dude. He'll be good. He'll be fine. Something else also fine. So I actually love seeing this. So the Buccaneers re-signed Mike Evans, 2-year, $52 million deal. Now Evans, 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons, probably should be a Hall of Famer. Maybe not first ballot, second or third, somewhere in there. But I like that he's re-signing with the Bucs, because I love superstars who play for one team, like Justin Jefferson, hopefully. But also, so Mike Evans returning to the Bucs probably means that Baker goes to the Bucs as well. And I just want chaos. Well, also, I want one less team that could potentially jump the Vikings to draft a quarterback. And the Buccaneers drafted like 23 or something like that. So that would take them off the table. But it is good to see Evans and the Bucs working things out. And you just see on social media, a couple Bucs fans like super hyped that Evans, because he can still do it. Like, this is not a charity case, but Mike Evans still that big outside the number X receiver. Also, he made Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M. I mean, we've gone over this before, but I mean, everyone talks about, Johnny Football, College Station, defeating Alabama. All Johnny Football did was run around Fran Tarkenton style and just chuck it up, and then Mike Evans and all 6'5" of himself and just bailed him out. That's what happened, man. I don't know why this is so funny with me. So yesterday, a picture of Dak and his new haircut and his new trimmed goatee made the rounds. And people, I don't know, like people just had jokes as they always do. Also, I respect this barber that has like the Kirko chains gold necklace on the, what do you call them? Like aprons? I don't know, the whole thing with the haircut. So I'm not gonna lie. Story time. So I have not had a barber haircut since 2006. I forget what it was. I think it was just because I was a broke college student and I looked at the $14 wall trimmer, not wall like like wall, WHAHL, really good at spelling. And I was like, this is $14. A haircut is $20 with the tip. So I was just like, So I used to have like spiky, like greasy hair, like surfer, wannabe Hollister surfer dude hair. But yeah, I've been just shaving it down all the time. Also, so people think I have short hair because I'm balding. I'm really not. So I do have the widow peaks, except I've had those since like 8th grade. Everything is intact up at the top. But yeah, I just have the short haircut because literally it's just economical at the time. So I still have that trimmer. I mean, they last a long time if you maintain and oil them and all that stuff. So I, in the last, 18 years, yikes, I've paid $14 for haircuts. That is all. That's the news dump, Skull production value. Just kidding. So the whole thing with Dak is great, where things haven't really changed. So a little bit more tight up top, as well as the beard got trimmed. But of course, maybe that was a playoff beard, but a short-lived playoff beard. But I feel like Dak, especially if he gets his $60 million per year extension, like it's a little bit of Walter White. I kind of like it. So there you go. Something I don't like is L'Jarius Sneed getting the non-exclusive franchise tag by the Chiefs. Now, usually when this happens, like teams don't go down the road. It's like, oh, sign our guy to an offer sheet and give us 2 first-round picks. No, usually what it means, it's a tag and trade. Usually, well, the Vikings did this with Yannick the freaking Ngakoue. I think it was like a 2nd and a 5th, or for Yannick and like a 3rd or something like that. But yeah, so basically, I would have been interested in signing L'Jarius Sneed as a free agent, but giving up draft capital and signing him? Nah. But remember, teams only get 1 franchise tag and 1 transition tag, and transition tags never used. But 1 franchise tag with the Chiefs means Chris Jones is a free agent. Now, hear me out. So Chris Jones is 30. Yes, I think he has probably 3, 4, 5 years left of his absolute prime. He's going to be expensive, probably 28, 29, 30 million per year, but the cap has gone up. An absolute monster, disruptive interior force, and great against the run. I mean, he'll be great. Also, Jones lines up on the edge quite a bit. He's extremely versatile with where he lines up on the defensive line. Actually, basically, if you watch, like he basically just picks a gap, and then like Karlaftis and Dana and company, they just said like, all right, whatever, sure, whatever. Something that's whatever is the Russell Wilson trade. So first off, no, I don't think the Vikings should sign Russ even for the league minimum. But, I mean, the Russ trade is bad. So first off, the Deshaun Watson trade and contract was bad. The Russ trade and contract may be worse. So when the Seahawks traded Russ to the Broncos, they got back Drew Lock, who's a fine young backup, Noah Fant, who is underrated. Shelby Harris, I think, is one of the more underrated, unheralded defensive linemen in the game over the last couple of years. Charles Cross is looking like a competent tackle. Boye Mafe is our guy. Some stank off the edge. Tyreek Smith, I believe, from Texas Tech. Spoon is, Witherspoon is probably a top 5 corner already. Somewhere there. And then Derek Hall from Auburn getting after things as well. So, I mean, they got some studs. They got some studs in the compensation. Also, the Russ contract was so they're taking out $85 million in dead money. They have to pay him $39 million guaranteed this year with offsets. And it's just a debacle. It's just ridiculous. But it is very good news for Vikings fans. I don't know why that image is so warped. But it's very good news for Vikings fans because the Russ trade and contract was so bad that it is rivaling the Herschel Walker trade. Now, the Herschel Walker trade, done by Mike Lynn, Jimmy Johnson, fleeced the Vikings. Jerry Burns didn't want Herschel Walker. I mean, Jerry Burns' offense, like it really was a continuation of the West Coast offense. And Bill Walsh created the West Coast offense. Jerry Burns helped refine it. And basically, like, Herschel Walker is an I formation power running back, but in the West Coast offense, like, your running back is just as much a receiver as the wide receivers. That's why Darren Nelson fit in better with Burns, even though Darren Nelson dropped that one against Washington. I digress. But yeah, it didn't work out. Also, what really sucks is that after the Vikings got rid of Herschel Walker, he immediately had a 1,000-yard season, like with the Eagles, and then he returned to the Cowboys. I think he had a 1,000-yard season. But yeah, the picks. So the Vikings got fleeced in that it was a trade for a bunch of players, but if the Cowboys released the players, they had a corresponding draft pick that the Cowboys would get from the Vikings. So that's how Jimmy Johnson completely ripped off the Vikings. That's what happened. So like Jesse Solomon, David Howard, Isaac Cole, Darren Nelson, blah, 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 blah. But basically it came down to 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, a conditional third-round pick, and a 6th-rounder. Now the Vikings did get back 2/3 and a 5th-round pick. I believe one of the picks turned out to be Jake Reed. So yay. But some of the picks that the Cowboys got: Emmitt Smith. Perhaps you've heard of him. Russell Maryland, absolute stud. Kevin Smith. I mean, he was a good cornerback. He couldn't cover Randy Moss, though. There you go. And then Darren Woodson. I mean, Darren Woodson should be in the Hall of Fame. So there you go. So the Vikings, I mean, they didn't necessarily hand the Cowboys their Super Bowls. I mean, Emmett was a big part of it. Maryland was a big part of it. Woodson was part of it, too. But I mean, they already had Aikman. They already had Irvin. They already had that great offensive line. So, but it certainly didn't help things. But yes, I mean, the Russ trade, hopefully it's starting to take some of the stank away. Same thing with Deshaun too. Lastly, so the Dolphins aren't franchise tagging their captain, a defensive tackle Christian Wilkins. Back in the day, played at Clemson. Back in the day, played with Flores, and he's coming off a career year, career high in sacks and pressures, and he should and could be a Viking. Also, former Dolphins linebacker, edge rusher Kyle Van Noy, who also played under Flores, both in Miami as well as New England. He said this: "Not surprised, but this is somebody who embodies being a Dolphin. Captain has gotten better every year and does the right thing when it comes to being a true professional. Hopefully, a team around the league sees that and begs him to join their team. This dude loves football and loves competing. They always will give a bag to, oh, never mind, doesn't matter, because Christian Wilkins going to get what he deserves. Pay the man." So yes, I think the Vikings should pay Christian Wilkins. I think the Vikings, frankly, should pay Kyle Van Noy. Hey, Kyle, why don't you come on in? We'll sign you to a $3 million deal with $2 million with incentives. Play a little edge, help take the sting out of losing Danielle Hunter, help mentor some of these young edge rushers coming in, as well as PJ2, as well as AC2 as well. And then Christian Wilkins, sign here, be a team captain, completely destroy the interior offensive lines for opponents, and reunite with Flores, and let's just get the band back together. Let's go, man. But that's it. Your thoughts are thoughts. Beautiful Tuesday Vikings news dump. You know what to do. Skull production value.